Hello, my friends. Today we are covering everything that you want to know about LinkedIn lead generation. Now, we are going to not skip a beat and just jump right on in. So, this is what we are going to be covering today. Now, for those of you who may not know me, let me first off introduce myself. Hello, my name is Molly. I am a CEO and LinkedIn business coach. And of course, I also have my team member Taylor here, who is a part of Team Lotus. Now, here's the agenda. What we're going to do is we're going to identify who is your lead. And then from there, we're of course going to talk about how to find that ideal client, how to attract those leads, how to connect with those leads, and of course, Q&A. Now, a couple things, housekeeping things that I want to call out. First and foremost, for those of you who are wanting to have this replay and you joined us via LinkedIn events, unfortunately, due to security reasons, I don't have access to your email address. And so if you would like this recording, please feel free to email me directly at molly@lotusmentoring.net or shoot me a quick LinkedIn message. Okay. Now, with that being said, the last thing I want to share insofar as housekeeping items is yes, there is going to be an offer today. And I hope that doesn't scare you away from tuning in. I promise I am going to deliver nothing but value today. Okay. And I want for you to take this time to really discern for yourselves, is this something that I want to hear more of? Do I need more support on this? Because one thing about me is I hate having you feel like you're left high and dry because you only got one bit of the strategy. Okay. So I just want to give you a heads up here, and I'm excited to be able to continue to share my expertise with you. Now, with that being said, I am going to now switch over to my whiteboard. Now, here's the thing about how I love technology. We are going to share my screen and we're going to get this right away. Bear with me. Whiteboards. All right. All right. So you are now seeing my whiteboard. And one of the things that I want to do insofar as my presentation style is I understand that everybody learns different, they digest information different. And I'm also a visual learner, so I like to take notes. And so if you are also a fellow note taker, highly recommend for you to take out pen and paper right now. I'm going to be drawing some diagrams that's going to help you to understand the concepts and strategies around LinkedIn lead generation. Okay. Now, the first thing we want to talk about here is understanding who your lead is. So, who? Oh boy, my penmanship is not the best here, y'all. Who's your lead? Okay. Question mark. So, this is going to be the first thing that I really want for us to talk about, because at the end of the day, you cannot possibly, I mean, I guess you could, right? You could definitely talk about your lead if you don't know, if you're kind of wishy-washy around it. Yes. Will it work? Yes. But at the end of the day, you absolutely want to ensure that you know who you are talking to. Okay. Now, many of you have already done the ideal client avatar exercise. That's like start your business 101, entrepreneurship 101, and we are going to repurpose that information. So, first thing here is your ideal client avatar, okay? Now, many of us, part of the what do I say, the ideal client avatar exercise that we learn all about is demographics, right? So we are going to write D here for demographics. And this is you understanding who your ideal person is. So, are you somebody who works with moms? Maybe you're somebody who works with solopreneurs. Understanding demographics of your ideal client is going to come into play for your LinkedIn lead generation strategy. The other component here of understanding who your lead is so you can find them and attract them and connect with them is urgency. Okay, and I'm going to put a U here for urgency. Now, urgency is one of those things where you want your ideal client to bring urgency to the table. Urgency, and you're going to hear very quickly, and commitment are the two things that you just cannot bring to the table. That's what your ideal clients have to bring. Okay. Urgency is something that is essential in how you identify your lead via LinkedIn and really deciding, do I want to connect with them or not? Urgency is time bound. Okay. Next, commitment, just as I shared. Commitment is a key factor in who your lead is, because if your ideal client has a high sense of commitment, saying that they are willing to do what is necessary to learn the skills, to close the gaps, to apply the things that they're learning to achieve the goal, they have a higher sense of commitment and therefore will always have a higher probability of success. Now, the other thing here that I want to talk about is investment readiness. Now, this is one of those things that not many people, at least my business coaches that I worked with, haven't outright said is a key component to identifying your lead. What do I mean by investment readiness? This is understanding this person's ability to invest time, energy, and financial resources to achieving their goal. Okay. It's one of those things where, again, somebody who is trained to invest, meaning they have a higher point of investment readiness, is going to have less resistance, less barriers, okay, when they are ready to work with you. Last but certainly not least, the fifth point here is psychographics. Now, this is the part of your lead that you want to focus on, which is the things happening in their brain, right? Their deepest desires. Do they understand their symptoms? Do they understand the problem awareness? Are they solution aware? What is keeping them up at night? So when you focus on these 5 aspects, this is how you identify who your lead is. So you are repurposing that ideal client avatar exercise, which usually includes demographics and psychographics. But what I want for you to do is to include these 3 here too: urgency, commitment, and investment readiness. This is who you are going to visually find as well as attract and connect to on LinkedIn. Now, we are going to keep it moving, okay? Now, we're going to shift directly to the find section. Now, the finding here is via the newsfeed, posts, and profiles, okay? Ooh, can't spell. Profiles, okay? Actually, I'm going to be better here for you guys so that you guys are not confused. And profiles, let's spell profiles. All right, okay. Now, when I'm talking about finding your ideal clients on LinkedIn, your lead generation strategy under the find component, that pillar, means that you are doing things outbound, okay? You are the hunter. Now, for those of you who have been a recruiter in the past, okay, this is what we would call sourcing. You are reaching out to passive candidates to see if they want to work with your company, okay? So when you are thinking about finding your leads on LinkedIn, I want for you to understand that this requires active prioritization, can't talk, engagement, okay, and focus on understanding who that lead is for you. So if we were to follow the same diagram here, okay, here's your ICA up here, okay, Now, somebody who is going to have the demographics that you're looking for, again, and this is what you are going to want to find, okay? Now, if for those of you who want to work with women, you are going to look for pronouns. When you look at this person's profile, okay, because quite frankly, the most powerful thing about LinkedIn is its ability to pre-qualify leads. So when you are finding somebody's profile, whether it's you stumbling across a post, again, right, on the top part, right, news feed, the posts, or if you're stumbling across someone's profile, you want to see what demographics, urgency, commitment, investment readiness, and psychographics does this individual have that matches right up here who you've already identified as your lead, okay? So when you are looking at these profiles, when you're finding them, one of the demographics could very well be, and I'm going to put right here, D. If you're somebody who wants to work with women, you're going to want to take a look at that. More profiles today are highlighting, not highlighting, but identifying. They are putting out their pronouns, their preferred pronouns, which I think is great, okay? Now, for those of you who are like, well, I want to work with millennials, right? I'm an elder millennial. Yeah, you can make an educated guess by scrolling down and taking a look at how many years of work experience they've had, and if they have shared when they graduated from their college degree, it gives you a nice little temp check on do they hit the demographics. Now, insofar as urgency, an example of how you can pre-qualify somebody who has urgency to want to work with you is if, now this is for career coaches, an example, okay? Of course, the open to work banner. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, okay? Today is not the TED Talk for me to destroy, yep, totally using that word intentionally, the debate on whether or not candidates should be rocking the green open to work banner. I am pro open to work banner, pro green team all the way. Why? Because as a former HR leader, I've used it as LinkedIn recruiter to find people who are actively seeking. But like I said, that's not for today's TED Talk, so I digress. When you can find a profile as a career coach and you see that somebody is rocking their green open to work banner, you know that there's a sense of urgency. They clearly are highlighting right on their profile that they are looking for work, which is a good sign for you. Now, an example of a lead who has commitment, a high sense of commitment, is somebody who is willing to ask for help, okay? Now let me describe this in more detail for you. So let's say you're scrolling through the news feed and you're doing your 15 minutes every other day lead generation. Yes, that's exactly what I teach my clients, okay? So for example, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, this is what I also do in my business. I take 15 minutes a day, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, to do lead generation. And what do? I go directly onto the news feed. And just so you know, later in this workshop, I'm going to give you a visual of what that looks like. Now, when you are doing that on your news feed, you're scrolling, and you see somebody who asks a question or would like help, or who is asking for clarity on cover letters. That shows you that that person has commitment, because why? It is more courageous to ask for help than to just not ask for help. So if somebody is willing to get on a social media platform and say, hey, I've got a question, can somebody help me? That is a pretty good sign that they have a high level of commitment in answering and or solving their problem, okay? That's what makes them an ideal lead. Now, moving on to the next here is investment readiness. I want for you, and that's education, short for education, okay? Now, again, I'm going to be so real with you guys. I'm sharing with you my experience. When I was a career coach and I started my coaching business 6 years ago, way before even business coaching happened. One thing that I found was that people who had a higher point of investment readiness, a higher level of investment readiness, was people who had additional education, meaning they had a master's or they had a PhD or they had maybe a double major or they had additional licenses and certifications. Any of those individuals, any of those leads, I should be very specific, any of those leads that I reached out to that had additional education behind their name, insofar as all of that, fancy letters, or within their education section in their profile, they had no qualms, okay, for the most part, with investing in coaching with me. Why? Because they understood what that meant to continually learn and grow as an individual. So I found that people who had more education, whether it's license, certification, or levels of degrees, they had a higher level of investment readiness. So if you are coming across somebody's profile and you want to pre-qualify them, you're going to click on their profile and you're going to scroll down to the education section and you're going to take a look. Are they ready for me? Okay. And if you see the education, for the most part, it's a pretty good time check. Okay. Now, last thing on here is the psychographics. Okay. Now, I'm somebody that if you say the word manifest, girl or guy, you are my people. Okay. I am totally a woo-woo kind of person. All right. So again, when you are pounding the job or when you are pounding the lead gen strategy on LinkedIn and you come across a post in which somebody talks about their spiritual journey and that relates to you as a key term or a key word, this is a really great pre-qualifier tip, okay? Or sign, I should say. Sign, because at the end of the day, when you're finding your leads, that means that you are only connecting with people who are what? Again, your ideal lead. Ding, 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 ding. Okay. Finding those leads requires that you understand all of these different components: demographics, the urgency, commitment, the investment readiness, and the psychographics of what needs to be within the wheelhouse of who your ideal lead is and how they would identify themselves to be. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to shift real quick. Now, one of the things that I want to share is an amazing opportunity. Now, I already shared with you guys at the beginning here. This is an amazing offer for you, and I really want to be able to continue supporting you if LinkedIn is your goal for this year. I am offering a limited time offer where you can join me for 2 jam-packed hours where I am going to help you to optimize your LinkedIn profile so you can monetize it. Because quite frankly, I'm just going to be a straight shooter. Okay, y'all? Straight shooter. I am somebody who, if I am on LinkedIn, I want to make money. Okay. I'm a coach that is here to make money, honey. And if you are too, and you're still trying to wrap your head around the LinkedIn world, this is going to be the ticket for you. Okay. During these 2 hours, I am going to literally, it's a done with you workshop, step by step, line by line, section by section in your profile. We are going to optimize the shit out of it so that when you are done with the workshop, you are ready to roll to make money. Okay. So go ahead. Here's the QR code. Feel free to snag a ticket. Okay. Right now, the cost did go up to $57 because we are now getting to the tail end here, but it's only $10 additional, and we are still going to honor the buy one, get one. So what does that mean? Let me explain. You can join this workshop and invite a friend who's also looking to monetize their LinkedIn profile. You guys can split this for literally under $25 a person. You both can get a LinkedIn profile that is optimized to monetize. Okay. So again, this 24-hour promo is already done. That was for people who joined live, but for you, feel free to join us at $57 an hour, BOGO still. Okay. Moving right along. So let's get back to our whiteboard. All righty. Okay. So we've covered who is your lead. And now we are going to talk about how to attract those leads. Okay. Now, attract. Now, when I talk about attracting your leads on LinkedIn, this is what I mean. Okay. Via your content, in mails, your lives, and workshops. So, of course, as you know, we are going to have our ICA right here. All right. So let's talk about your ideal lead. Okay. Now, from a demographics perspective, an example of this could be like this. If you're a career coach, let's say that your ideal lead, ideal client is somebody who wants and desiring, okay, a director level position. Director. Okay. This is the demographic side of things. Okay. Now, when you are creating content or you're having conversations via emails, or maybe you're hosting a weekly live, or you're hosting a workshop or an audio event of some sort, you want to create specific topics that would help your ideal lead, ideal client, to become desire aware. The more you can help a person to increase their awareness around what they want next, the better it will be to attract them into your community. Because here's the thing, as crazy as it sounds, people don't always know what they want out of life, let alone what they want next in their business or their careers. Okay. So if you can help people to gain clarity on what they want next, and in this case, as a career coach, an example would be, you know that your ideal lead is looking for their next level position, and that could be a director level position. You are going to create different kinds of content, lives, workshops, audio events around how to land your director level position. 5 interview questions for a director level job, right? Those are the things that's going to help attract your people to you. Why? Because when your ideal leads, okay, if you are finding them, let's move up here. If you are pounding the LinkedIn lead generation strategy 15 minutes every other day, like I'm telling you to, then birds of the same feather flock together. When something that you've created for content resonates, there's going to be engagement, there's going to be reactions. The more reactions and engagements that your content receives, the more impressions. The more impressions your content gets, the more eyes, aka more visibility. Okay. So this is the reason why you have to stack your lead generation strategy that way. Okay. Because you cannot just think that you're going to post without getting the right people, your ideal leads, into your LinkedIn community. That's why if you are putting posts out there and nobody's engaging, it's because your messaging is falling on deaf ears. We don't want that. So that's the reason why I say make sure you find your ideal leads, connect with them, right? Pre-qualify and connect with them if they fit. And then when you push out content like this, it's going to speak to them. Okay. Second thing here we're going to talk about, okay, is of course the urgency of how do you create or how do you help people to become urgency aware via your content. So again, as an example, if you are a career coach, okay, you are going to understand how to ask this question. When? So in mails, right? When you're having conversations with people in mails, in the comment section, on your live, in your audio event, you are engaging in conversations in this content and you're asking. So let me just ask you guys, those that are tuning in, when do you guys want to get your job? What's that time? What's that timeline? If you could pick a date and time this year, next year, what does that look like? By asking this specific question, you are again attracting people into your community, and you already know they have pre-qualified themselves excuse me, pre-qualified themselves for you. Because if someone says, well, I'm looking for a job next year, well, that urgency is not quite there. But if someone says, I wanted a job yesterday, well, yeah, that urgency is there. Okay. And your content can also say that. If you are looking for a job or if you need a job offer like yesterday, here are the top 5 things that as a career coach I recommend for you to do. Okay. So again, all of this helps you to attract people by simply being intentional and strategic about the word choices to help people to identify. Are they desire aware? Where is their urgency awareness? Moving right along. Now, one way for you to gauge their commitment level is, again, engagement. Now, I'm going to be super honest like I always am. You guys know me. You guys know me at this point, okay? Everybody is so tired of being pitched on LinkedIn. And that goes for every social media site, not just LinkedIn. But for those people who want to connect with you, if they accept your connection request and you send them the very first nurturing DM sequence or in-mail sequence, and they respond to you, that shows you that they are engaged. They're committed in having a conversation with you. People who are not going to respond to you, don't sweat it. Don't worry so much about it. Don't freak out. Don't feel bad. Don't feel neglected or rejected because of it. That person probably is just not committed yet, because they know if you optimize your LinkedIn profile, which again, if you don't know how to do that, that's what we're doing at this upcoming workshop. You know, right out, they know by looking at your profile, because it's already been optimized, exactly what you do and who you help. And so people who are committed, people who actually care about what you do and how you help people, will absolutely engage in a conversation with you. So you don't even have to force them to talk to you. Okay. I'm a type of person where I only got so many hours in my day. If you don't want to engage in a conversation with me on LinkedIn, that's fine. No harm, no foul. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to chase you. Okay. That's not my kind of vibe. Okay. I attract, hence attract. Moving right along. Now, an example of investment readiness that you can include in your attract pillar here via your content and all that good stuff is when you are able to address objections, okay? Address objections, okay? And I'm also going to add in here, okay, opportunities, helping people to see opportunities. This is investment readiness gauge. If you are not doing this in your content, you need to do it. You need to do it immediately. It's one thing to talk about the desires and the problems and the symptoms that your ideal leads are experiencing, 100%. And I'm not saying that you should ignore that. However, for those of you who are booking those discovery calls, or what I call clarity calls, right? AKA any kind of, whatever you call it, your sales calls. I want for you to think about the most common objection that you're getting. Now, if you're a high ticket coach like I am, okay, the number one most common objection is going to be the investment point. You should be addressing the investment point in your content. What I want for you to do is I want for you to talk about why it is more advantageous for somebody to go ahead and invest $5,000 to work with you as a coach versus going into debt for another $25,000 for a master's degree. I want for you to talk about the difference between getting another certification versus getting a career coach to help someone land the job. You should be addressing the majority of the objections that your prospects have on sales calls. Additionally, I want for you to get really creative on helping them to see the opportunities that's available to them. When people are feeling all of the icky stuff, the symptoms and the problems, it's really challenging for them sometimes to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes they don't even know that there's a solution. Your job as the CEO of your business is to help them to see that there are opportunities via you as the solution to help them get there. And you need to do the work to earn their trust. I have no problem earning people's trust. Okay. I think it's a requirement. If people want to work with you, especially at a high ticket, you better earn their trust. I also want for you, and here's another idea, okay? People who are afraid of the investment, okay? Or if they're making decisions via the lens of fear because they're scared that they're not going to be able to achieve the results, or they've already invested in another career coach, or they already invested in a resume writer and the resume writer didn't do anything for them, okay? Address those concerns. Help them to see what makes you unique and different. Because at the end of the day, people's logic, which is sometimes driven by subconscious fear, is going to take the front seat. When you can attract the right people who are ready to roll, they are going to see past the objections because you're helping them to see that via your content. They're going to have the urgency. They're going to have the commitment. They're going to be ready to invest. This is how you do it to attract the right people into your sphere. Last but certainly not least is an example, right, for psychographics is we talk a lot about work-life balance. As a career coach, yeah, a lot of people want this. This is something that's a psychographic that a lot of your ideal clients are going to want to have. So I want for you to understand that at the end of the day, your content can very well be what helps your ideal lead to pre-qualify themselves to say, am I ready to work with you? Am I ready to work with Molly? Okay. Moving right along. Let me just, where's my mouse? Okay. Now, next bit here is we are going to talk about collaborating, okay? Now, collaborating can be speaking engagements like on a podcast. It could be conferences, summits, that kind of thing, and networking, okay? Now, for those of you who are not leveraging LinkedIn for this stuff, I want to highlight this as an opportunity for you. Again, using career coaches as the model here. If you are a career coach and you want to work primarily with women and helping them to close the pay inequity gap, okay? Have you thought about speaking at women's leadership conferences? Okay. It hits your demographics. Okay. You already know. Boom. I want for you to really think about where are all the opportunities where you can generate ideal leads, because lead generation on LinkedIn doesn't just live in LinkedIn. It's about creating opportunities that connect people through LinkedIn to the outside world as well. That's why I say speaking engagements via podcasts, conferences, summits, networking events, these kind of things is going to help you to find more leads. Next thing here, LinkedIn groups. I don't know how many of you guys are leveraging this. I love LinkedIn groups. Now, I will say that they're not as effective or large as Facebook groups. However, the great thing about LinkedIn groups is you know that there's urgency, because again, if somebody put in the post in there saying, really, I need a job within 30 days, and I'm really looking for someone who can give me resume writing services or helping me to optimize my LinkedIn so that recruiters will find me. Yeah, they have urgency. They're looking for this now. So don't sleep on LinkedIn groups. Plus, you can communicate with them for free, even though you're not first degree connections, which is, I think, such a win. Another thing here on how to collaborate is workshops. Okay, just like I'm doing now. I'm telling you guys, I practice what I preach, for real, for real. When you have a workshop and you are able to speak on the things that your ideal leads want and need to learn, you know that they are carving time out of their day to come join your workshop or to re-listen to the replay. I mean, I don't know how else to show commitment more than that, okay? Because we all know that people who register for workshops sometimes don't even show. Those people who flake don't have commitment, and that's okay. You are going to help use your workshops as a way to filter out ideal leads who have commitment. Now, let's talk about the investment readiness on collaborating via LinkedIn, in LinkedIn, to find your leads. Let's talk about we talked about, I said conferences over here. I meant associations, y'all. Conferences are over here. Conferences over here. Associations. Okay, associations. Okay, you can definitely look up associations on here as well. Okay, conferences and hello, coach referrals. Key. When I go to conferences and I speak on my signature topic, in case you guys are wondering, which I'm sure you guys probably know by now, I talk all about LinkedIn. Okay. When I do that, people know me as a thought leader. They know me as an expert. They know me as a subject matter expert because I am taking the stage to teach on a mass macro level. Additionally, one way for you to collaborate with other coaches within LinkedIn is to become referral partners. So if you aren't aware, now this is a concept that I teach in my Catalyst program. I talk about upstream referrals and downstream referrals, which essentially means this. When you think about where you are on your process, okay, so again, let's think about being a career coach. Let's think about where your ideal client, your ideal lead is sitting. What did they just complete doing before they hit you? And once they're done working with you, how can you pass them along to work with somebody else? Okay. So upstream would be someone like, for example, a resume writer. Okay. A resume writer writes a resume, which is awesome. As a career coach, I never wrote resumes for people. I taught people how to do it, but I will not rewrite it for you. So I partnered with resume writers so that they can refer people over to me to help them with interviewing, branding, LinkedIn optimization, salary negotiations, mindset, all of that stuff. Okay. Once they are done working with me as a career coach, then I hand them off to downstream referrals, such as leadership coaches, executive coaches, okay, communication coaches. Those are amazing coaches that I can say, yeah, the person got the job. My client got the job. Now they want to excel at the job. Here are some of the gaps that they want to fill. They want to be a better leader. They want to communicate more assertively. Great. I can hand them over to those coaches. Okay. Do not sleep on those referrals, because that's going to be a great way for them to send referrals and leads up to you, up and down. Last but certainly not least, okay, is our psychographics. And you can do this with blogs, newsletters, whether it's on LinkedIn or email, okay? And as I said here, let's just use the example pay equity, okay? So if you are a career coach and you're like, I want to help women to earn more money, collaborate with somebody else. Do a part 1 on theirs and part 2 on yours, where you guys are talking about all of the key ways to better elevate your pay grade to help close the pay inequity gaps, okay? So these are all of the different ways that you can find your leads. And that's what lead generation is. It's just literally finding, attracting, collaborating with others to get leads, all right? Now, last but certainly not least, this is the one thing that people ask me about, and I want to make sure that you guys are understanding, because I taught you guys everything that I can put into a 1-hour session here regarding lead generation. And the process actually includes this. This is what I teach, okay? And I want to just make sure that you guys are aware of what I teach, y'all, okay? So first off, profile optimization, okay? Profile optimization, that's the first step. Because if you're pounding your lead generation strategy and your profile is not optimized, think about it. Just think about it. Does your profile reflect your brand? Does it answer the questions that your ideal leads, ideal clients would possibly be asking? You want your profile optimized. And more importantly, which is what I'm going to be teaching on Thursday, the 22nd at 5 p.m. Central Time, is how to do it so that people will pay you for your intellectual property and time. Okay, so do not sleep on the profile optimization, because if your profile is not optimized, it doesn't matter how hard you do lead generation, it ain't going to stick because you're missing a key component. Then comes lead gen. I know my handwriting doesn't look the greatest here. After that, you got to learn how to do attraction marketing. We talked a little bit about that, okay? But this is like diving way into the nitty-gritty of it all. And last but certainly not least, of course, connections, collabs, and conversations. This is where really rubber hits the road. That's where money hits the wallet. Maybe that's what I need to start saying. This is when money starts hitting the bank, okay? Understanding how to connect with the right people, again, your ideal, how to collaborate with people so you can get your ideals, and of course, how do you nurture, earn the trust and the relationship building via conversations to get them to work with you, okay? And I say get, but I mean that in a place of like not coerce, but of course, to nurture it so that they want to work with you. That's a better way to say it, okay? And then, of course, the end goal here is to increase your clients and your money, okay? So this is the process. This is the process of what I want for you to understand for LinkedIn strategy, high level, all right? Now, last bit here that I want to go ahead and make sure that we talk about is, and I promise we are right here, I promised you a walkthrough of how I do lead generation on LinkedIn. So I literally just recorded a walkthrough, and again, let me just set the tone, okay? This is through the perspective of a career coach. So if you are a career coach, this is how I did this as a career coach. Now, obviously I do this differently for business coaching, but as a career coach, this is how I found my leads organically. And no, you do not need to invest in LinkedIn Premium for now, okay? I am showing you the organic lead generation strategy that I use. So first thing first, you want to make sure that you are filtering off of top posts, because then you're going to see that more and more people are going to, what LinkedIn is going to do is show the posts that have the most engagements. And that's going to be essential for you, because to do 15 minutes a day, yeah, you want to look for posts that has at least a couple hundred, if not a good 1,000 on that. And for 15 minutes every other day, it's a lot easier for you to find a post that has a ton of reactions in there so that you can take a look at that. Now, I was just taking a look at maybe that one may be a good fit, but if you understand your ideal leads and the posts that they're going to engage in, you will soon very well understand that, oh yeah, that one has a lot of engagement, but it's more geared towards entrepreneurs and business. Ooh, but look at this. Patrick, ding, 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 ding. He not only is he rocking the open to work banner, he's got 1,400 engagements. So you click on the engagement and then you start to scroll. Now, you are using their headline as a soft temp check, meaning you are pre-qualifying. Is that a word? It is now. Pre-qualifying people based off of what you see on their headline. And you're going to scroll and you're going to scroll. And I promise you, once you do this consistently, your eyes are going to pick up on the keywords that you want to focus on. All right. So you're going to scroll through and you're going to find the right leads that's going to give you a sign that they're interested. Now look at that. Beverly is a marketing graduate of 2023. So I'm going to open up her profile and I'm going to start to pre-qualify now. Okay. So you're going to look in each of the sections. The about section is a wonderful way to take a look at this. And look, bada bing, I would like to have a career in digital marketing, social media manager. Oh yeah, she just did an internship that was just completed. So there's that sense of urgency. Interesting. I just wanted to take a look at that employer real quick, but it looks like she's unemployed. So the chances that she probably has urgency. She's also got a high level of investment readiness because she's just got her degree, which is awesome. This person looks like a great connection for me. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to send a connection. Now, just so you know, you can go ahead and add a note, which if you're not on premium, will limit you to 5 a month. You can go ahead and just send without a note. That's no problem. Okay. And then you go ahead and send a connection. So this is how I go about doing lead generation. Even for myself, this is exactly what I teach my clients. And this is what took my business from $270 in my first year into $105,000 in my second year. And I have been doing it ever since. Now, for those of you who have any questions, please feel free to email me your questions. I promise I'm going to get through all of them. It might take me a little bit of time, so I ask for patience as I get back to you. I want to thank you for spending your time rewatching this replay. And so feel free to email me at molly@lotusmentoring.net. You can go on my LinkedIn profile. It's under my connect info. So you can copy and paste it directly there. Shoot me a quick email or send me your questions on LinkedIn and let's guide you through your LinkedIn strategy. For those of you who are interested and you're like, yes, this is for real. I'm dead serious about LinkedIn. I want to learn how to monetize my LinkedIn. I am ready to roll. Join me for the upcoming Optimize to Monetize workshop happening on the 22nd. And again, it's a BOGO, which is a fantastic deal for just a little bit under $25 a person. You and your friend could walk away with an optimized profile in under 2 hours. With that being said, thanks for tuning in. All of my love. Talk to you guys later.